are you? Was the first word that popped into your head good? Was that word on the tip of your tongue, ready to be said before you even thought about it? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, I woke up to the sun streaming in through my windows. Wait, the sun? I was supposed to get up at 5:30. I go to check my phone and see what time it is. I tap on the screen. Black. I click the power button. Black. I pull on the charging cord only to realize that my phone hasn't been plugged in all night. I run to the bathroom, and as I pass the clock in the hall, it reads 7:15 a.m. Perfect. 10 minutes before first bell. I hurry and put on my makeup, throw on some clothes, brush my teeth, and I'm brushing my hair as I run out to the car. When I get to the car, I realize that I left my keys inside my house. I run inside, look on the key hook. Not there. Look on the kitchen counter. Not there either. I run to my bedroom. Not there either. I go into my bathroom. Why are my keys in my bathroom? I take my keys, run back out to my car, start my car, and see that I only have 3 minutes to make the drive that usually takes me 10. My years of playing Mario Kart have prepared me for this moment. I drive just fast enough to make the drive shorter, but just slow enough so that I won't get pulled over. Or so I thought. The flashing lights behind me make me realize that maybe going 10 miles over the speed limit wasn't the best idea. But people go 10 over all the time. Why am I now just getting pulled over? The officer makes his way of walking around my car, taps on my window, and says, "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good," I respond. He then goes into his usual spiel. "Do you know how fast you were going? Do you realize that this is illegal? Here's your ticket." I take my ticket and finish the drive to school, only to realize why I like getting there so early. Every parking spot is filled. I drive up and down the aisles just with an ounce of hope that maybe there's one spot that's open. But there isn't. I park down the street, as close as I can get, and start running to school. Of course, Mother Nature chose that moment to make it start pouring rain. I walk into the office to be greeted by the woman behind the counter. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good," I respond. She then says, "Oh, honey, first period started 45 minutes ago." She then writes me up a slip of paper. I take the slip of paper, run to first period, and when I walk in, my teacher says, "Well, look who decided to show up. Maybe set your alarm earlier next time. Anyway, how are you?" "I'm good," I respond. I sit down, and by the time my table mate finishes explaining what we're supposed to do, the bell rings. As I'm walking down the hall, my wet shoes betray me, and I slip and fall. My things go everywhere. As I'm picking up my papers, I realize that they're soaking wet. I look at my backpack and realize that it's been unzipped this entire time. I go to zip it up, but the zipper won't budge. I run to the next period. At least I'm prepared for this class. I stayed up late studying for this test. I am ready. I start filling in the bubbles on this multiple choice question test and walk up to the scanner. I look at the number on the screen. 60. 60? How did I get a 60? I stayed up late studying for this very test. I go and sit back down at my desk, and the person sitting next to me tries to start conversation. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good," I respond. The bell then rings. Finally time for lunch. I walk out of class and see a group of my friends standing in a circle. Perfect! Just what I needed. I know that they can lift my spirits. I walk up to them, but stop when I hear my name in the conversation. Oh yeah, she's so annoying. If I only keep her around because if I didn't, no one else would. The words my friend say hurt, and then she turns around and, not realizing that I just heard what she said, says, "Oh hey, how are you?" "I'm good," I respond. I then make up some lame excuse about having to go get school lunch and go to sit at a different table. I sit down only to realize that the paper bag that I used to pack my lunch is now ruined. At least I have my Gatorade. I pull out my red Gatorade, my favorite flavor, and as I go to take my first sip, someone bumps my chair. I spill red Gatorade all down myself. As I'm doing the walk of shame up to the front of the cafeteria to get napkins, one of my old elementary school friends sees me and stops me. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good," I reply. I then finish cleaning up the mess and hurry to my next period. I ask the teacher if I can go to the bathroom. When I finally make it in front of the mirror, I look up only to realize that I have mascara on my face. How long has that been there? Finally, it's time to go home. I go home, and as I walk into the doors of my house, my mom sees me and says, "Hi, how are you?" How are you? One of the most asked questions, and yet one of the least honestly answered. Why is that? Why is it that whenever someone starts conversation, they seem to say, "How are you?" And why is it that whenever you respond, you just seem to say two words? "I'm good." Vulnerability. Being vulnerable, or letting someone see the inner workings of your brain or your emotions, opens yourself up to the thoughts and judgments of others. But this brings up the question, is vulnerability really that bad? Oftentimes when someone says the word vulnerable, people's minds immediately go to the word weak. Vulnerability and weakness are two very different things. Being vulnerable means stepping out into the world and opening yourself up, while weakness, on the other hand, means the absence of strength. Being vulnerable takes strength to find courage to be vulnerable, further proving that weakness and vulnerability are two very different things. Many people will never honestly answer the question, "How are you?" due to the terrifying thought of being vulnerable. Open yourself up to others and realize that it's okay to have emotions, and realize that it's humanly impossible for someone to be good all of the time. Another reason why someone may not answer the question, "How are you?" truthfully is because they feel that they will burden the person who asked them this question. The question, "How are you?" has become monopolized as another way to say hello, when in reality, this question has a much deeper meaning that you may not think about. Someone may have needed someone to talk to for months, but by immediately expecting the response, "I'm good," you close off all opportunity for that person to relieve their stress and open themselves up. People have gotten so used to the masks that we all wear that they now expect them to stay on all of the time. Meghan Markle wrote about a time in her life when she was undergoing the stress of being a new mother. She also wrote about the stress of keeping up her public image and fulfilling all of her other duties. She wrote of just one reporter asking her a question, "Are you okay?" This question meant so much to her because she was finally able to be honest about her emotions and open herself up. It meant so much to her that someone really cared about how she was doing. When you ask the question, "How are you?" realize that you're truly asking how that person feels. You are not asking for the response, "I'm good." By expecting that response, you're closing all opportunity for that person to finally release all of their stress. I ask of you, take the question, "How are you?" more seriously. Realize that this question is truly asking how someone feels, and realize that someone may have just needed someone to talk to. And if you take that question seriously, you can be that person. So, how are you?